The day I found out, my world started to fall apart. I could not believe this was happening to me.
One does not have to abandon their faith, right? Their faith or their deeply held beliefs to agree the government should not be telling that woman what to do with her body.
I was manipulated and lied to. I made a mistake. You need to know the truth.
We have some guests with us today to talk about a local organization that tries to help pregnant ladies in our area and fights against abortion, the murder of little babies. So we'd like to welcome our guest. How are you doing?
Thanks for having us, Trey. It's fun to be here. So I'm Lyndsey Sikes. I'm the executive director of LC Center. We are Life Choices, what we've been known as in the community, but we've rebranded to celebrate our 45th anniversary of operating in this community. And so I've got Dawn Smith with me as well today.
Welcome, Dawn.
Thank you. I'm the director of operations at now LC Center.
And you've been doing a lot of pro-life stuff for a long time.
I've worked with other national organizations, and I've been active for 40 years.
That's so good.
So what do you ladies do at Life Choices? So what does Life Choices do in our community, and then what is y'all's role specifically in there?
Probably be shorter if we told you what we didn't
Right.
do.
Well, we have titles, but we both wear a lot of hats, and we're a small office.
Our
so
mission
everybody
is
does.
making abortion unthinkable in Northeast Louisiana. We can't control the rest of the country, but as far as what we have in front of us to put our hands to, we want abortion to be unthinkable because we're providing support and resources in our community to people that need them, and we are so passionate about that. And that's what our organization was founded on in 1979. Pediatrician Dr. Mita Boyle in this area, she just wanted to do something that helped. Abortion had just become legal in the United States, and she was seeing teenagers through her practice, and she just wanted them to have a safe place, to be able to see that there are other options besides abortion. The abortion industry is real quick to have that one solution, kill your baby. Like you just we're going to end this pregnancy. And so that's what LC Center has done for 45 years now, and we'll continue to do. We got a lot more in us to go, and that's what we want to do, is to make abortion unthinkable through the resources and support we're providing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And we also, our goal is reach her first.
Yeah.
We want to reach her before the abortion industry does.
Right.
Because they are very well funded, and they are going out, it's just with a zeal.
Yep.
It doesn't matter what laws are. It doesn't matter what's going on. So it's our job to go out and reach her first. That's part of the purpose for us getting a mobile unit, so we can go to the areas that, don't have a pregnancy resource clinic. And it's also our goal that no mother, no father, and no baby has to walk that out alone.
Yeah.
That someone is there to love and support them.
So you said you had a mobile unit trying to go out to them
Yes.
to let them know there are other options besides aborting their child,
Exactly.
Yes.
right? Which is funny because the DNC is out there with their mobile unit trying to kill their children for free.
Yeah,
right? It's
just
like they
this week,
celebrate it.
and that was in Chicago. The Democratic National Convention, Planned Parenthood had a mobile clinic there, and they did over 20 abortions in 2 days through that.
That is so sad and evil.
Yeah.
And so that's awesome that y'all have a mobile unit. So it just travels around locally in the Northeast
We're
area?
getting ready to launch it. So that was just purchased this year. And so we're getting ready. We're going to tour churches for about 6 months. We've got to raise some funding for the staffing of it. We've got to put a nurse practitioner on it and have an assistant in there. So we've got some fundraising to do with it, but it's going to be out for outreach events. We've got a couple of things already this fall, and then we're going to be at churches just so people can see what it is and how they could be a part of it.
That's
So
good.
how are you guys going about fundraising for that?
Yep, we do a lot of praying and asking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Asking for help.
So maybe
We've applied
donations mainly.
Yes,
Right.
we've applied for grants and things too.
Okay.
But this is a front line kind of deal.
Yeah.
It moves fast and it's rapid, and grants are amazing, and we apply for them. But we need help right now. You know,
Mhm.
like we could go on about people we're helping right now, and so there's always an immediate need.
Yeah.
And
That's
I
so
would
good.
encourage that people listening to this, you know, that you're like, what could I do to help? There's always something to do. Like our funding priorities are mobile clinic and getting that operational. Like we had to purchase it. We bought a used unit because it was more cost effective to do that. We've had to do some interior updates. We're having to do some repairs on things that were damaged while it was in a waiting period.
We
And,
had to have it wrapped.
and get it
that was
wrapped,
expensive.
rewrapped, and our marketing efforts, Google, Meta, places like that, shadow ban, pro-life efforts. And so it's $1,200 a month for us to run a Google ad campaign to be the first person that on that cell phone, you know, when people are looking at abortion in our area. And then medical services, those are our 3 priorities this year. Medically, we've added a women's health nurse practitioner who's amazing, and we just hired a professional counselor to help with the mental health crisis that we're seeing.
Oh, that's so good. So what in y'all's mobile unit, what we all offer in the mobile unit
Pregnancy
itself?
test, ultrasound, sexually transmitted disease testing, all of that's for free. We'll also have material assistance that we can help with, because our community, like our Northeast Louisiana community, is we have a very high level of poverty. We got people in need and that need help.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So,
I know, real quick, I know we want to talk about a lot of things, but if people are watching this and they want to, as we're talking, look you guys up on your website or your social media, where can they find you guys at?
Oh yeah, we have a great new website, lcmonroe.com.
And actually, it's in transition because we've just rebranded and changed, so they can still go to lifechoicesofmonroe.com, and it takes them right there. We're still working out the bugs of all of the names and everything, and there's a donor link, there's our client-facing page, but then we also have a donor-facing page so people can find out what they can do to help, be it volunteering or events that we've got going on. We'll have a fall event coming up. It's going to be our birthday celebration, our 45th birthday celebration in October.
And we have Facebook and Instagram, and on Facebook we also have for donors, friends of LC Center. So it's all of our behind the scene kind of info of like what we're seeing, what we got going.
That's so good. So, but I'm just thinking, you can't be too busy nowadays since you can't get abortions in Louisiana anymore, right? I mean, isn't that what they say?
We are busier than we have ever been. We're the busiest center in the state.
Oh yeah.
So 2022 really changed. So June of 2022, I would say that is definitely a marker of before and after.
Because people have this idea that you can't get abortions anymore in Louisiana, that we got rid of that, right?
Or maybe even in the country.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know what people's perception of abortion is, but definitely I feel like in Louisiana, because when the Supreme Court reversed Roe v. Wade and went back to the states, Louisiana had the trigger law so that it became immediately illegal. So we had 3 abortion clinics at that time, and they all 3 had to close, and they stayed closed even though, you know, they were challenged, because the abortion industry, they are relentless. They look for any opening in any way, and they definitely challenged that, but they remain closed, and abortion is illegal in our state. And we immediately saw over 100% increase in the women that we were seeing, and we've continued to see that every year, an increase in the amount of women that we're seeing. But a Goliath rose in the abortion industry as soon as Roe fell, and that is the abortion drugs. The medication abortion has always been available in clinics, but that has risen. Planned Parenthood even had a goal before Roe was ever going to be reversed. They had a goal that over 60% of all abortions would be done at home. I think we're at 64% in 2024. And so these abortion drugs, and I don't think that I just want to take a minute to explain what that is, because we hear a lot of times people are confused. There's so many pills out there. So you've got birth control that's available over the counter now. You've got Plan B, a morning after pill that's been available over the counter. These pills are called Plan C. It's mifepristone and misoprostol, and those are abortion drugs. They take the life of a baby. Those have been available in abortion clinics, but now they're coming to your house.
Yeah,
and you can order them online.
But I'm sure when you order these, it's coming from a very legit area, location, and it comes packaged knowing it's medical and all that stuff, right?
You would have thought and hoped that the abortion industry would want to protect women,
right?
You know, since they're all about women's rights, that you would hope that they would want that, but that is not the case.
It's not true.
That's
That's
not the case.
That's not what they care about at all. Because anyone can go on and order these pills. You can put any name. They don't ask information. They don't have to see you. There's no telehealth appointment. We have even ordered the pills ourselves just to see, and ordered them as a 12-year-old. I had them in my mailbox in 2 days for free.
As
It
a
is-
12-year-old.
as a 12-year-old.
So you went on, but did you have to put your
Went into
age?
a website.
Yeah.
You went into a website,
Yes.
put your age.
There was no Zoom,
And they-
telehealth, or anything.
They sent you
Yeah.
a board of pills as a 12-year-old.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how they come
Yeah,
packaged.
that was from a doctor in a pharmacy from a shield law state. So that's something
Okay.
else that people need to understand. There are 19 states right now, I believe, that have shield laws. So
Can you
that-
tell us what shield law is?
Right. So that means that we had a provider in Colorado that shipped pills to Louisiana. Colorado has a shield law. So even though it's illegal in Louisiana, Louisiana can't go prosecute that doctor for breaking one of our laws
Right.
because Colorado said we're going to shield you.
Wow.
So there's
Wow.
19 states. I think it's going up there. There's 5 more, I think, that have it on the ballot for this fall. But that's a huge, so we have laws in Louisiana. It's illegal to deliver, distribute the abortion drugs in our state right now. October 1st of 2024. Those 2 drugs, we will be the first state in the country that makes those drugs controlled substances. That was achieved in the last legislative session. It goes in effect October 1. So they will be controlled substances, which increases the penalty for it. But again, we have these shield law states.
So right now, though, up until the reversal of Roe v. Wade, shutting down the abortion clinics in Louisiana, they were able to ship abortion pills to us, and there was nothing wrong with that. But coming up, that is going to be breaking the law moving forward, correct?
Right. And it's different as far as, those 2 drugs are also used in women's health care for other things, women that have a natural miscarriage and things like that. They're used. So medical providers will still be able to use and prescribe those drugs for their intended purpose as they need it, as they need to do with their prescription. But this is going to protect rapists, abusers, traffickers. That the law was created by Senator Thomas Presley, whose sister's ex-husband poisoned her with abortion drugs, and he had access to them, and so he shouldn't have access to
And they
them.
encourage you, when you can go to the website, they encourage you to stockpile the pills, have them for your friends,
Yeah.
or just in case
An
you
advanced
need them.
provision.
And so we've ordered them several times. And so one time it came just in a little like Amazon like package. So no
You
one
wouldn't
would
think
know
it
what
was
does.
anything.
Another time
Right.
they came, it looked like it was maybe a birthday card or something. And it looked like that. So you've got these pills that are going to homes, and a parent might not even know that their child has ordered that and think nothing of it. Just think
The protections that in the state of Louisiana that we had, like parental notification, there was a waiting period, there was an ultrasound requirement, like that's all gone. Like your child, they can get on their phone, it's click, click, buy, and it's done. It's not money. I mean, yeah, they may say they're $150 online, but they'll negotiate with you.
Right.
I mean,
And the pills are not even marked, are they?
So there's activist organizations now, and this is the thing, is where it's just rapidly devolved. I mean, in less than a year, we have seen dangerous developments in the abortion drugs with activist organizations that are mailing them from other countries. So the pills are unmarked. You're not even sure what they are. They're coming without instructions. They're coming with no doctor involvement at all,
From
for
Mexico, from
free,
India.
other places. And it's very dangerous. And over 60% of Americans don't even know that this is available.
Yeah.
And so we appreciate the opportunity to talk about it today because we love to educate people, because if you have kids in your home or kids that you love and care about, you definitely want to know that this is going on, because something would be showing up at your house.
Yeah.
You know?
So-
And these things come in like little baggies, like you would think of
Yeah,
like
the
drugs that
activists-
come in, like
the
these little
activist
bitty
organization
clear
does this
baggies,
very
and it's
suspicious.
like it's
But you've got, people that are desperate and they're scared, they're faced with unexpected pregnancy and they don't know what to do. And so then they're getting something like that, and out of their desperation, taking
and
something very
especially
dangerous.
younger girls. And if they're not telling their parents, and then they have such easy access to it. We had a client about a month ago that reached out to us via text message after hours, and she said, "You said I would regret it." She said, "I stared at the pills for 3 hours and I took them."
Oh.
And she said, she just kept saying, "You said I would regret it." And she just said, there's so much blood. I'm scared. I don't know what to do. And we were trying to determine, do we need to get her to the hospital? But she was sitting on the couch with her mother going through an active abortion, and her mother had no idea.
That is so sad.
So, it's heartbreaking that your child could be going through something like that and you have no idea.
No.
And there's side effects from these
Right.
drugs too that, I feel like the abortion industry, I mean, they're leaving people vulnerable to this, like just like that situation. And that client bought them on the street. So that's the other thing that we're saying, they're street dealt now, like drugs.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard of a situation where a younger female bought the drugs, took them, and she ended up dying because
yeah,
of it.
that was in
true?
Florida.
Yeah.
It was 14 years old.
She didn't speak
English
English.
was not her first language, and she didn't understand how to take the drugs. So she took all 14 pills at once, and she died. So it's it's a problem.
But obviously, these people don't care about life itself, so they don't
Right.
care about the baby.
Right.
They don't care about the mother. I mean, it's
Right.
just it's a thing of death.
Yes.
You know.
And they're not underfunded.
Right.
Like right now, in Louisiana, Illinois, North Carolina are the abortion destinations. And in Illinois, if you call the abortion clinic there, they have 24 places that would fund your abortion experience. They're going to
Travel.
fund your travel, your
Meals,
hotel,
everything.
everything. So
That is crazy.
people that have never been out of Washoe Parish, then that's like that's a huge.
But the trauma of it too. We had a video that we had played at one of our events where hotel workers had done a TikTok video and gone into this hotel, and they said this happens all the time, that they're contracted with Planned Parenthood and there's baggies in the room,
like garbage
of remains.
bags.
No.
And they're having the cleaning staff is having to deal with that, and it's traumatizing. It's
Of course.
traumatizing for everybody. So
and you talk about how much they're
completely
funded.
unchecked. Right.
Yeah, the
You
funding.
know, I mean, this is the country we live in right now.
Right.
We are barbaric. I mean, just murdering babies left and right, and we're paying money for this. And it just takes me back to the verse, and I think it's Isaiah, that woe to you who call evil good. And this is where we are. And me personally, I don't blame the heathens out there who know nothing of Scripture or the things of God, because all laws are ethical, moral laws.
Mhm.
And so when we lower that law down to here, and you have an unchurched civilization, society, they don't know, right? And so they know in their heart, the works of God are written on our hearts. So they know it's wrong, but they don't know why, right? And so then we don't have churches talking about it, speaking about it, standing up for it. So at the end of the day, I think I blame the churches more. So
we would love to see the church get her voice in this. And I've never, like, I've been at Life Choices for 20 years. I've never seen anything like this. Like, I hate to almost compare it to Navy SEALs because they're such an elite group of people, but we have an incredible staff that is so dedicated, so passionate every day to like reaching her first and being there. And it's truly frontline work. And the spiritual battle, that's what we say. It is a spiritual battle of life and death. And we see it every day. And it is so hard with the church, like not having a voice. Like I say all the time this year, I feel like it should be that, like the scripture says, blow the trumpet in Zion and sound the alarm on the holy hill. Like we should be sounding the alarm. Like it shouldn't be like, oh, y'all do such great work. It should be like, what do you need?
Yeah.
What do you need from us?
I'm
What do
sure
need?
I'm sure y'all have tried to talk to churches in the past.
Right.
So can you kind of tell us a little bit more about how conversations have gone, whether positive or negative, when you've talked to churches?
You know, it's funny. Like, so my husband and I have been married 15 years. We've been together 18. So he's been with me a lot of my experience in pro-life ministry. And after Roe reversed, he was like, I feel like that pro-life ministry just went from like a lamb to a lion. And that's what we've seen. I feel like past interactions, that churches and in pro-life work, like at Life Choices, there's just like these nice little Christian ministries and nice little things that we do and everything. And after Roe fell and this Goliath of abortion drugs, it is a lion. It's a lion's voice.
But
and
it
roar
is
now.
also, it is very
So
much
we're-
a church problem, because
Yeah.
when the Sunday after Roe was overturned
Mm-hmm.
nationwide, only about 33% of churches
Mm-hmm.
gave any sort of mention to Roe or any sort of a pro-life message.
And that's a 50-year answer to prayer.
Right.
That,
Right.
you know, we saw like that abortion was these clinics were gonna have to close in our
Mm-hmm.
state, just in Louisiana, you know, alone.
Right.
But something that had been legal for
But
50
the
years.
abortion rate is the same in church as it is out of church.
Yeah.
We're no different than the world.
Right.
So
And
Again,
one
it's
in
a
I
three
go back
women.
to not teaching the people in our churches. This is why I blame the churches, because we're not teaching them doctrine and theology. We're just talking to them, you know, be sweet and love Jesus. Like, we don't know why. We don't, and so
and you got, you know,
it's just the
there's hurting
culture's
people,
impacted
too.
the church instead of the church impacting the culture, you know?
Yep.
And,
And
one
so-
in three women. We've
Yeah.
got people sitting in our pews every Sunday that are
Like, there's so much
broken
healing and
from it,
forgiveness in
and they're afraid to
Jesus.
tell and ashamed
Yeah.
of what they've done, and no one knows. It's a secret that they keep to themselves.
So as far as that's concerned, you guys saying that there's a lot of women in our churches today who are struggling with something of this nature. How can, as pastors, how can we go about identifying these ladies?
I just think the church having a voice. I think making the church like having a voice in it. Like, we have a post-abortive support group that we do like at our center. We have a Bible study that we go through and have that available as a resource. And I feel
And
like
we have
just being a
new
voice,
group
you know.
starting up in September.
Mhm.
That
Right.
we the last abortive recovery that we did, post-abortive recovery study we did, there were 4 women. It represented 12 babies.
For
So it's heartbreaking. And these women, some of them had been in church, some hadn't.
right.
It's
And
it's
men
just a
too. And
shame.
we see it's available for men too, because you know
Right.
the 1 in 3 women, that's also men too.
Yeah.
You know,
and men are greatly
very
affected.
Well, a
That's
lot
why
of
we
men are
also-
part of it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of
Oh,
men
yeah.
are part of
Right.
the abortion
They are.
of the baby. And I think the churches
And they don't have they feel like they don't have
takes
a voice.
two. It's
Yeah.
a mom and a dad.
Exactly. And so I think that the church needs to teach what is sin, right? Murder is obviously sin, but this is the problem. We don't call it what it is, and we call it something else, and it's just this. Then they're dealing with this guilt and the shame.
Yeah.
They don't know how to deal with
And
it.
sometimes it comes out in different ways.
Right.
You know,
And
we
if
see
the
post-abortive
preachers
people
would just
that they
teach
don't.
about grace and mercy and the grace of God, and there's forgiveness there, but we have to call it what it is. But when we call it something different, we don't know how to deal with it within the church. And I mean, the church needs to really stand up against the
But we
murder
do
of
also-
Yeah, and I
we
think-
have a
think
dad
we're-
program too. So
Yeah.
we also are trying to reach the men. Also, we have
Mhm.
guys that come up there and meet, and
Mhm.
when the dads show up,
And y'all's church really
Yeah,
were
your
instrumental in starting
your
that. I don't even know if
church-
you know that,
Yeah.
but y'all had a group of
Mhm.
youth
Kids,
that
yeah.
got together and
Yeah.
did these dad bags for us.
Loved it.
And when we gave those out,
the first one that
The-
we ever gave out, you know, we were excited, like, oh, cool, we
Yeah.
have something to give the guys.
Uh-huh.
You would have thought that we gave that man a brand new car, and he was so excited.
Yeah.
He went through everything, and he's like, "Yeah, I need stuff. I'm a dad."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was wearing that thing, and he had the burp cloth. So now that's something that we've instituted.
Yeah.
But I've
Every
never
one of
given
them.
one out to one single man yet that didn't have that same reaction.
Yep.
Yeah.
We've
Even
got
more
to
than the
include
mom.
men.
Right.
even more than the
it's-
mom,
it's
because
incredible.
dads have such a powerful voice. You know,
Mhm.
that is, I still tell people that is
Yeah.
the most powerful thing in 20 years that I've witnessed in this ministry. Is there was a high school senior who came in. This was like over a decade ago, and it was during prom season. Her best friend came with her, and she was pregnant, did not want to be. She was very upset. She wanted to have an abortion. She's like, I just can't do this. I just got to get rid of this. I just don't want this. And the friend had brought her to see us, and nothing that we were saying, her having an ultrasound, nothing was like reaching her. She was just so broken and just so closed in. And it was like a movie. Like the dad, her boyfriend, burst through the door.
Who was a senior in high school? Right?
He had left
Yeah.
work. He was working like, I don't know where, but he has a uniform on. Bursting. He got down on his knees in front of that girl and he said, I will marry you or I won't marry
Bless his
you.
heart.
I will work 4 jobs. I will do whatever you need me to do.
Yeah.
Please don't abort this baby. This
Yeah.
is my baby too. And that broke her. Man, she's like, okay, I'll have the baby because of his voice. The father's voice is so important, and it matters so much for the support for dads. And so I feel like churches that's what they could do is just bring awareness to these different aspects, of resources and support that we're doing or any pregnancy center is doing.
We've
and
got
build
to
it
build
up.
our men up. We have generations of men that have been shoved to the side. They're raised in single parent homes with no positive male influence, and men need to be men again. But for them to do that, they need positive men to take them up. I don't care if they're your kids or not, who are your kids in your church. We've got to help the men because it's, society is hinged on that. We need good.
Well, we've demasculated. We've emasculated the men in this country, and in the church. And don't get me started, but I will go on for an hour on that. But amen, Sister Dawn. I promise you, I'm going to try not to go into that. But you're right. I think that we're raising nice, sweet men, but not godly men in the churches.
But also men that are just checked out and leave their problems, and it's a problem. It's because of their brokenness. So we've got to have good, strong. Where are you, men of courage?
Right.
We need men of courage to raise up more men of courage because.
But in order to raise more men of courage, we're going to have to know the scriptures. We're going to have to teach doctrine, theology of who Christ is. Exactly. That's why I'm saying I blame the church for this whole issue.
Right.
But back to what you were saying, Lyndsey, I do believe that you ask most people, who does abortion affect? And it's always the woman. Everybody. And, because the argument in the secular culture is, you can't say anything about abortion. You're a man. It's a ridiculous argument. But that's all they hear, that the man, you can't say anything. Right. You're not a man. It's not your body, right? Well, the baby's not the mom's body either. Right. But the point is that people always talk about it's the woman, but it affects these guys too. Yeah. And they're in high school, college, whatever the age is, it affects them. And they're also a parent of this baby that's inside the mother, And so I think I think that's a great point you make there. Is there anything else y'all want to?
I was married to someone for 20 years that he was very broken, and it was because at 16 he got a girl pregnant, and the families got together and took her to have an abortion, and he never recovered from that. It breaks men, and it's just a sad thing, but they also really have less of a voice than the women do because society tells them that it's not about you. You don't have a say.
It's not your body.
You don't get to have a say in that. So therefore you don't have an opinion, you don't have feelings, you don't have anything, and nothing can be further from the truth because that's part of him as well.
So sad that where we are in a country. Is there anything else y'all want to say before we shut it down? Because we're so glad you're here.
Well, we're glad to be here. And we're grateful to this community too.
I mean, we could talk all day, every day because,
for 45 years, we haven't had an abortion clinic here because of churches, because of people that prayed and stood for life. And so we are very, very grateful for that. Yeah. And we're grateful that there are people before us, that stood in that spot, and we're grateful to stand in the spot now, and we'll never stop. They're never going to stop.
That's
so
good.
We'll never stop. And we're gonna hold the line.
I love seeing fighters. How much difference do you think it make if the churches actually taught these things to our people, and that the ramifications of abortion, what abortion truly is? It's truly murder, and how we can tell people about the grace and the mercy of God, that you can be forgiven for that, right? And to stand up and fight like y'all are doing. What if we had 10 churches in this area raising warriors, telling the community? What would that do? Really, what would that do?
I can't even tell you how that would change everything that we do. Yeah. Everything that we do.
But the problem
and
is
it would change the reach
no doubt.
Of what there's that picture on the internet right now of this little lamb and kind of dirty in the woods, and Jesus running for it. That's what that would do.
Yeah.
The reach would change.
Yeah. But see, I think what you'll find is the deeper you get into the fight, you're okay fighting it out there, and everybody's like, "Attaboy, good work. Hey, keep doing it. We're with you." But when you actually get inside the church and you get under the umbrella of the church and you start speaking on behalf of a church and things like that, the sad thing is, that's when you might see that there's going to be a lot of people against you. You can't say that because, again, I think there's people within our churches that have had these things, like you were saying, Dawn,
Mm-hmm.
and they're struggling with guilt and shame. People don't want to struggle with guilt and shame, and so they always project it somewhere else. And because they don't understand the true forgiveness and the mercy of the grace of God, it feels like an attack to them, right? And so if our church is really taught these deep truths of God's word, and we, like, if we really say this is a spiritual war, right? You've heard that, right?
Yes.
It's a spiritual war, a spiritual battle. Well, then how about we go fight?
Right.
How about we
That's
train
church.
and
That's
equip?
church fighting.
Exactly.
We don't
We
expect
have
the
to fight.
world
let's
to fight a
let's
spiritual
equip
battle.
the saints to
Yeah.
do the work of the ministry and to go out there and fight, and not just say, hey, girls, that's appreciate, we love you, good luck. No, but we go out there and fight with you. Like you said, like, we were part of, Brian Gunner down in Livingston, a pastor of a good, solid Baptist church down there. Us and him, and we had Jeff Durbin and all those guys come down with End Abortion to help promote this bill to end abortion, But what if we had just churches left and right? Every church you looked at, like they really stood on this and they didn't back down. A good book is Francis Schaeffer, read it years ago. It's the Christian Manifesto. And when I got done reading it, I was like, this is amazing. When did he write this? And he wrote it like in the 80s. I'm like, this dude's a prophet. Oh, my goodness. I mean, it's all about abortion, like the fight for America. The American Christian should be the fight against abortion.
Yep.
I mean, it is the murder of innocent.
These are eternal
humans.
souls. That's
Right.
what like I can't talk about it like a normal part. When we got pills as a 12-year-old for free, I've lost all ability to talk about it.
Right.
People probably look the other way now if they see me
But
coming
it
because
would change our
would-
communities. It would change our state. It would change.
these
our
are
country.
eternal
It
souls.
changes
The
everything.
abortion drugs, we no longer have any idea. In the clinics, we knew what the numbers were. We knew how many abortions the clinics were doing. But with these drugs, we have no idea how many lives have been lost
Oh,
from
none.
And now
abortion.
every house, every bathroom,
Every bathroom's an
everywhere
abortion
is
clinic.
an abortion clinic.
Right.
And
And we're
I
missing
don't.
over 50 million people
Yeah.
due to abortion.
Yeah.
Who are we missing?
Oh, we're going to go back in
Desperately
history and we're going to look at this place, America, and we claim it's a Christian nation. Are you kidding me right now?
Right.
But we're going to look back in this in history and say, man, these were barbarians,
Right.
just offering their babies just
Yeah,
to murder.
If the church, instead of saying, keep up the good work, if they said, what do you need?
Yeah.
What can we do to help?
Yeah.
That would change. That would change everything for
Right.
us
Oh, yeah.
and the reach, especially in this battle.
I think of y'all and I think of those who are actually fighting this battle of murder of
Mhm.
innocent life. Here in Proverbs 24, if you it says, rescue those who are being taken away to death. Rescue those who are being taken away to death. Hold back those who are stumbling to the slaughter. And so I think those stumbling to the slaughter would be these moms that y'all are trying to help out and these dads who are
That's a call
going
to
there.
action.
Yeah. And
Yes.
that's a command. That's not like, hey, you might want to
Yeah.
think about, no. This is what the church is called to do. And this is what I would love to see more churches do. And I pray they do. But I love you guys for that. We're going to support you
Yeah.
no matter what.
Also, I want to say too that it's not that we're tired
No, we're
or
not.
discouraged. Like it's almost like in a war, and I hate to compare to that. 'Cause, it's not something people could see, I guess, but it's like we're calling back, saying like, "Hey, we're on the front line, and hey, we need." We need some more
We
like
need some more tanks.
things.
Come on.
Yeah.
But, I
because
mean,
this is
support.
what we're fighting.
We've
So
got jet
we're
fuel
not.
every
Yeah,
day.
we're not
Right.
tired.
Every
We're not
single
backing
day.
down.
We're
We're
ready
not
to go.
stopping.
Well, this is what Christians
Yeah.
do, right? And leaders, they don't always look behind them. You know what I'm saying? Because they're leading, right? But they know that there's some people behind them supporting them. But you got to lead. And this is what I always tell people. If you're going to lead, imagine walking through the jungle and you have a group of people and there's just nothing but briars and woods in front of you. And you're the only one with a machete. Like, you're going to be the one that gets all the cuts and the bruises because you're the one cutting the trail, but everybody else is behind you. But the church has got to get behind this. And we
Yeah.
thank you for leading this, and you are leading it, and there's no doubt you're fighting it. And we're going to be there. I know there's some other people in churches around here that also are behind you and support you.
Thank you.
But we want to fight, man. This is what Christians should do. And this is back to what you're saying about dads, and fathers and homes. I think when they really know who Jesus is, that he's actually truly not, we don't just say it with a wink and a tip of the hat that he's a conquering king.
Right.
No, he is a conquering king. He is the King of kings and the Lord of lords, and he has all authority in heaven and on earth right now. And we're going to take this gospel and we're not going to back down. We are coming because Christianity is an offensive religion, not defensive.
Yes.
But for years, we've played defense and played Mr. Sweet, nice, and let's make friends with them, and then they'll change. Like, no. The gospel is the power into salvation, not me and the way I say it. We're going to take the gospel and we're going to advance it because he's a conquering king and he's coming. And then I think when men understand who Jesus really is, they're like, now that's something, because they want adventure.
Yes.
And this is the
And we
most
say that
adventurous
every
thing. I mean,
day.
y'all are in the fight.
We're running offense. We are not.
Yeah,
We don't
we're
want to be
not
in a
on
defensive
defense.
posture. We are going
Yeah,
after it.
exactly.
And we will continue to go after
And that's
it.
what Christians
So
should
as
do.
far as you guys being hands-on,
Or fire me up.
in what ways? Like, so you said churches can support financially. You have donors supporting financially. In what ways can people be hands-on? So can they, if somebody says, I want to volunteer, can they just show up to your facility, or how does that work?
Call And
Yeah.
and I can get.
I mean,
something set up.
we do have a lot of financial
Yeah.
needs. I feel like it's financial things that like right now, like we need $1,200 a month to run a Google ad campaign because we're shadow banned on
Yeah, it's
Google.
a
You know,
digital fight.
we need $5,000 for promotional material because we've got 2 universities right here that we're trying to put resources
Wow.
into students' hands.
And we were about
you
to
know,
hit it hard.
we
next
need
week.
$8,400 because we need a 24-hour nurse on chat on our website, and that would pay for a whole year of that, just $8,400 for that, and that's a huge move of reaching her first because the abortion industry has a chat on their website.
With all of these churches in this area, that should be absolutely nothing.
Right.
Right.
It's not like
So
it's
what-
$8
what-
billion.
That should be
So what is it?
nothing. Like
So-
that. Are you kidding me? Like that's what you need. You need $8,400. You need
So what is
Uh,
a financial
1,500 a
goal?
month.
What is a financial goal for you guys as far as what people can donate? So if we were to put this out there on the internet and say, hey, donate to Life Choices, what would be a goal that you guys are trying to reach?
Yeah. I mean, we would love monthly partners, people that come alongside monthly that,
At really any level, but
yeah.
everybody can give
Yeah.
it in a level that's comfortable for them, but also
Right.
obviously we just need more money because and we run a pretty tight ship.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
90% of every
90%.
dollar that we get in goes towards helping people.
Yeah.
We're a
So-
lean, mean fight machine.
we
man.
are.
We want the resources out.
But I want to know, like, just give me an idea of a roundabout, because we're going to do this. This is ridiculous to have
I mean,
this
our
many
entire
churches. Like,
budget
what would it be?
is under 450,000.
that should be
for the
nothing with
year.
all of these churches around this area. So 450.
Yeah.
What's that?
We have more that we want to do
Oh.
to reach our.
Look, I mean, just think if 450,000, there's 450 churches in this area.
Right.
Right.
I mean, if every church gave $1,000, there's your budget.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, give me a break.
Yeah.
So how about you just go to the churches and call them out and say, hey, look, put your money where your mouth is. You want to stand up for the Lord? Let's go. Let's fight this.
Right.
That's where I'm at. You want me to do it for you? Because
Yeah.
Trey,
you
if
do.
you-
I make them
Trey,
mad all the time.
I asked the Lord for heathen money. I'm like, we
Yeah.
wouldn't turn
Oh,
it
yeah.
away. He sent us
Oh, yeah.
every person I meet. I'm like,
Of
oh,
course,
this is
we'll take non-believers' money to advance the kingdom. Like,
Yes,
don't
we
care.
will.
Yes.
Yeah, but yeah, I tend to
But we
ruffle
make a
some feathers
difference in
sometimes.
the
I don't mind doing it
community.
for you.
Yeah.
We are helping the community.
Yeah, we're putting
Hospitals
out.
call us. Social workers are
Right.
calling us. Like, we need car seats. We
Yeah,
need
we
pack
put
and
out
place.
almost 200 car seats last
Right.
year.
Yeah,
And we have a police officer that installs them and everything.
Yeah.
We put out over almost 100,000 diapers, hundreds of wipes. Like, we're putting resources and support. We're not just about just saving the baby. We're supporting mom and dad.
yeah,
Too.
Yeah.
that's
good.
exactly right. I mean, it's the whole package.
Yeah, it is the whole package.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm ready to fight.
Let's do it.
Thank y'all. Thanks for
you so
having
Yeah,
us.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and if you want to do it again, let us know. You know,
Okay.
this place is your place,
Thank you.
and so if it's to advance the gospel of the kingdom of God,
Mhm.
this is yours. So we're
We
here.
always
You know,
say
we're going
that
to support you.
We're her place. So
Yeah.
you can be our place. We need a
Yeah.
place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Thank
come on.
you.
yeah.
Thank you.
Well, love you guys.
Thank you so much.
That was
Thank
great.
you. Thank you
Yep.
so much for having us.